The Tennessee Titans have fired head coach Brian Callahan. He is indeed the first head coach fired in the 2025 NFL season. And I will turn to our NFL head coach record correspondent, Figgy Fig. Brian Callahan, in his just over 2 seasons, or just over?
I think it was.
One
Was
season,
it 2?
actually? Because he was rookie last year. Rookie head coach. What was his record?
Ooh, I want to say it was 4-18.
4-19, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's
4-19 as a head coach.
that is nasty.
I ain't realize it.
Percentage is .174. His scoring margin
That ain't great.
Negative 17.
And that offense did not look good at any point.
They never had a real identity. And he came in as an offensive coordinator, right?
From the Bengals.
Previously with the Bengals, which probably could have told you a little bit of something.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, to be fair, not really a well-built team.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, one of the things tangentially about that Titans team is this weekend I started looking, I was like, maybe the idea of porting in offensive linemen was not going to be helpful. However, that was just super poor coaching all the way around. Because Dan Moore, who they went and acquired this offseason, hasn't looked great. Now, he's been injured, but the guy that I think I was very interested in coming from the Lions, Kevin Zeitler, hasn't looked all that great with them this year either. So I was like, ooh, maybe my priors on the idea of going acquiring free agent linemen was wrong. Mm-hmm. Now the Titans are just bad. Like, I feel like that's where I'll land more than anything. However, do you view this as a good thing or a bad thing just generally? Because he was bad, and I think that was very clear. But anytime that you get rid of a bad head coach, there is an opportunity to get a good head coach.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. I wish they would have kept him. Let's
talk about it, Nashville.
Yeah.
Are you sure that he was that bad?
I wish they would have kept him. I'm serious.
Come on, Amy, what you doing?
Come
You
on,
reacted
Amy,
too
you
quick.
disappointed me again. But listen,
Give him a chance, Amy.
This is a true "the king is dead, long live the king," because you start to wonder. The AFC South, if you haven't noticed already, is Tennessee.
What?
Yeah, the AFC.
You mean the 5-1 Colts and the 4-1 Jaguars?
I'll say this again,
What?
and make sure you're sitting down. The Colts have the best record in the AFC.
It still sounds wrong.
It sounds wrong, but it's accurate. The Jaguars are going to be.
It's only been, 10 years since Luck?
Yeah, that's right. The Jaguars, and I've said it multiple times, I was wrong on Liam Cohen, apparently. They're going to be a bit of an issue. They're not going to Jaguar it all the way down. They're going to lose some games, but this is a division that's on the upswing. The Titans, if they get it right, this could be a problem. This could be a big problem, which leads to the question, who would scare you? Who would you love if they hired? Because I've already seen Bill Belichick. Please hire him. Please hire Bill Belichick.
I actually think I agree with Bill Belichick. And it's not because of the UNC thing. I think he's failing at North Carolina for a very particular reason, which is a level of hubris with him and Michael Lombardi going to the college level and just not understanding the space. That's one of those things that we've seen many a times. People think, oh, well, I've been at a higher level, so I know. No. This is an entirely different ecosystem you have to treat differently. But even in the NFL, Bill Belichick was losing his fastball. The thing that he did so well at the NFL level, yes, he had Tom Brady. He was great at finding a market inefficiency and zigging when everybody was zagging.
Yeah.
He was at the forefront of schematic advantage. He was at the forefront of figuring things out and figuring other teams out game plan wise. And he lost that in addition to being a bad personnel guy. All of that sounds like it would be awful with the Titans.
Yes.
Right? They've been bad at personnel. You bring a bad personnel head coach, that's not going to help. An inability to be effective when it comes to schematics and being ahead of the curve, especially with what I think will be an offensive bent if you're hiring a head coach because you have a young quarterback. Bringing in a Bill Belichick does not seem like it fits there. But interestingly enough, the name that scares me a little bit, I don't know if it should, scare me the absolute most, is actually a defensive head coach. And it is Brian Flores, who is currently the DC with the Minnesota Vikings. Last time he was the head coach, he was with the Dolphins. That dude can coach the hell out of some defense. And I think that he knows how to run a program. And I'd be interested. Well, I would not be interested, obviously, but I think that he is a hot name. He's been very good as a DC. I think that he could get their defense playing better football pretty quickly. And then you talk about getting them to a place where they're not just an absolute, bleep show. That in and of itself in the AFC South, as you mentioned, as they are, all the boats are rising. That's a frustration if you're the Houston Texans.
So anybody else? I have one that's just hit me like a ton of bricks in the break.
There's a couple more, but we could bounce
scary.
back and forth here, play a little word tennis.
Clint Kubiak.
One of those for sure.
Clint Kubiak would be very scary to me for a number of reasons, because I'd be mad, first of all, that a Kubiak is coaching the Titans, but I could see that connection from the Titans' perspective to the Kubiak name and the Kubiak family. Gary Kubiak would still be some sort of advisor and be able to teach him and work him. He's a really good offensive coordinator. He's been with young quarterbacks and offensive-minded head coach, which I was actually just texting with a buddy of mine. You would think that they might go with a defensive-minded head coach because, Callahan. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Not with a young quarterback.
Young quarterback you spend a number 1 overall pick on, and he hasn't even given you much that would say he's not it. He just hasn't been given a platform. You want to give him a platform.
Yeah, so I think Clint Kubiak would be a worry for me.
Agree. The only thing that I look at is he's really young in this.
Yeah.
Now that's worked for teams.
Got Gary.
And that also can be a stabilizing force. So maybe that is a way, and I would obviously be concerned just because I think the schematics would be good there with Clint. In a similar vein with the dude who has a little bit more under his belt, I am afraid of the possibility of Joe Brady, who is the Bills offensive coordinator. The phrase "falling up" keeps coming to mind, even though it's not accurate. He seems to get stronger the higher he's gone up. Right? Obviously, he was really great with that
LSU
2019 team, which is one of the best college football teams that I've seen with my very own eyes. Then he gets to the NFL level and he's looked better and better. He took over for Ken Dorsey and somehow made that Bills offense, took them to another level. Assuming that he has the chops to be a head coach and to organize things, he can design an offense in multiple different facets. That is the thing that gets me, that I go, oh, okay. Because they have some talented players, but getting a quarterback in the right space, helping him maximize what he does, I think Joe Brady has done. That would be very scary, because if there's one thing that you look at an opposing team and you're like, I don't want them to have, is a quarterback that they know that they can build around. Everything else we can figure out. If we got that quarterback, that's one of the hardest things to get settled. And if you get a Joe Brady who's like, oh, this Cam Ward thing, we can make it go, that's going to be a problem in the AFC South.
Let me ask one about one that you're very familiar with. And I don't know.
Don't say the one that I think.
I don't know if it's going to scare me or not, but I think it'd be a good transition. Offensive mind would have a good coordinator, maybe a young coordinator to help him along the way. Has won a Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy.
God, I hate him so much.
That would kind of scare me a little bit.
I don't think it should. Now,
when has he lost?
The scary portion of this. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's had
some bad years.
Well, he's had bad years, but then he's also walked into pretty well-established circumstances. He's not had to build this necessarily.
Sure.
For whatever that is worth. I think if he comes in, and unless there's some level stated, I think he would want to be the offensive play caller, and his offense is from 2008.
I don't think he would. I think that the stabilizing offensive mind that can work with the quarterbacks, work with the offensive side, and then bring in the offensive coordinator or whatever. Those are the two that came into mind. Clint Kubiak on one extreme, Mike McCarthy on the very opposite.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy. Yeah. Now he does seem to run an interesting ship. Like he seems to have good processes to some degree. I just really don't like him as a play caller. But you're right. Like right now, anybody that will demonstrate a level of competence to not make is interesting because of the way that the AFC South has kind of taken a step up. Can I give you a couple of more ones that I'm just going to speed run these a little bit more so and see would this be some level of concern for you or not really? If you're just joining us, Bill Callahan was fired, and he was the first head coach fired. Brian, rather. Bill was, I don't know if he's fired or not, but Brian, thank you, the son, who was actually the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, fired. First head coach fired in this season. All right, so we're talking about who could possibly replace him in that role. Cliff Kingsbury.
I saw that. I was looking online. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either.
He's done it.
He's doing an all right job right now.
He's had a measure of success. I think I might end up being a little happy if they hired him.
I think I might as well, Because I'm still not entirely sure that he has gotten this thing figured out of how to have an offense that builds and
lead the program.
Continues through the entirety of a season. And you're right, like be able to do that, be the play caller, get that effect while also leading the program. Now, maybe having done it once and then also now working under someone like a Dan Quinn gives him a better standpoint to do that. I don't know that I'd be as afraid of some of these other names, which, funny enough, haven't done it in the way that he has with Cliff Kingsbury. Do you even think this is a possibility with Steve Spagnuolo?
Oh, yeah. I even though he keeps saying no, and he's had other offers and options, at some point, maybe he's just going to kind of see that there's a possibility there. I think it's a possibility. I don't think it's a very high possibility. The other name that came to mind for me is maybe, he's anytime there's an opening, you just mention his name. And maybe this is the job that gets his attention.
Bill O'Brien.
Matt Campbell.
Matt Campbell, Iowa State. Really bring the Cyclones fully into the AFC South.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, because I honestly have not really thought about what his feeling
He's so respected in the NFL.
He's had so many opportunities to jump, and he just doesn't.
Yeah.
How about this as a name? Because I think this is a dude who absolutely wants another head coaching job. And so it is a retread of sorts. Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh would. Okay, now we can go into the whole defensive-minded guys. Saleh would definitely be one that you could put there, and I think he would obviously different environment than the Jets. Obviously, who knows what the ownership, but he would. I think he's going to get interviewed. He'll probably get interviewed.
Yeah, that feels like that'd be the case. But yeah, Brian Callahan, no longer the head coach with the Titans. I still haven't seen who the interim will be. I see you 346. Bobby, have you heard of Bobby Slowick? Can I interest you in one Bobby Slowick?
Let's do David Culley. Bring him back.
Hey, the first couple ones I was thinking about was Bill O'Brien and Josh McDaniels.
Yes and yes.
Josh McDaniels.
Please hire either or both of those guys.
Bill O'Brien getting all the love for jobs now today. But yeah, that's a team that I'm looking around and I go, the thing that if they make a good head coaching hire, are we sure that they will do the things to build the talent? Like, admittedly, they knew they were in a bad place, so they cut back on some talent. They've already kind of traded. Like, remember we talked about Brownlee, the cornerback, being traded early on in this. I think by week 3 they had traded that guy, which kind of indicated and intimated where they were. And there's 2 guys on that team that I look at is really good. How quickly we've seen in the NFL teams turn their fortunes around, even talent-wise. I do wonder if they get the right head coach, would they be able to also pair that coach with the talent necessary to compete?
No, that's the big question there. I do also think, one thing that Robert Saleh might have going for him is he might not mess with the offense. And he knows the West Coast offense, which is probably something that Cam Ward could thrive at. So it might be like a mini D'Amico situation in terms of I'll run the defense, I'm going to get in an offensive coordinator, even though obviously D'Amico is a little more involved now for obvious reasons. Get an offensive coordinator that can kind of run the show for a young quarterback. You have to have with a young quarterback like that, I think you have to have an offensive mind. Robert Saleh might be the one exception because he'll sort of just let the offensive guy do it.
Yeah, so, if I had to put the one that I'm most afraid of, the possibility of, it's absolutely Joe Brady. It's Joe Brady. I think after that, Clint Kubiak absolutely up there. Just somebody that gets Cam Ward into a place where you go, okay, that's a guy that we're going to contend with for 10 years in this division. Like, that's where it gets scary.
It gets scary when Joe Brady, I agree with you. Clint Kubiak is a little scary to me. I think he's really, really good. And maybe Matt Campbell, if he's 3, would tough for me.
I like the bit that's happening here on the text line of like, how can we sabotage? Yeah. Like, I wish I would have known. I would have started putting down feelers up in Nashville to try and Jeff Saturday. Let's see, can he jump back up here? He doesn't have the same attachment as he does with the Colts, which is why that happened. Deion Sanders, Greg Olsen.
I say get Eddie George.
Eddie George is having a little blow up right now.
Hey,
he got Bowling Green playing better football in college.
James Franklin.
He is looking for a job. That is fair.
Wade Phillips. Since they should lean into the history and just hire Wade Phillips.
Dude, I wish you
that
would
actually
that.
make me mad.
I know. I wish you hadn't said that. Don't I'm thinking about
lean into the history, man. Let him put his dad hat on.
Good Lord, they're going to end up hiring him.
Yeah, they are.
He probably tweeting about that job right now. Hey.
Here we go. This is the answer.
Still here.
From the 346. Titans should hire John McClain. All right.